Foreman, yeah. Right. There's the YouTube stream. Be sure to like that dog as well. Kings of Leon for Silverstone. Right. Max, Lando, Oscar, Carlos, Nando. Wait, you've put Lando twice there. Oh no, sorry, Nando. You mean Fernando? Sorry. Max, Lando, Oscar, Carlos, Fernando, Checo. Okay. Max, Checo, Lando, Oscar, Sainz, Charles. Okay. I'm going to say Max. Sainz. Perez. Charles. No, it's too hard. Max. Norris. Perez, Sainz. Max, Norris, Perez, Sainz. Leclerc, Piastri. Maybe. Let's go with that. I'm a big fan of that though, Zanzibar. When your gearbox won't work like it used to before. And your tires don't grip like they should. I like it. I hope he's done a Formula One song. I hope that very much. Should only be on for about half an hour, this, because it's the sprint shootout. It's pretty quick, isn't it? The good news is that the sprint race is at a normal time this time, whereas, you know, last weekend in China, it was at a 4 a.m., so. Sometimes it's just good to blame someone else, though, Zanzibar. We do it in Counter-Strike. I feel like, you know, sometimes something happens in Counter-Strike, and you go, oh, what's this guy doing? And then once you sit down and go, yeah, that was really bad by me. You know? Sometimes you just need to let it off your chest real quick, and then you go, yeah, actually, I was shit. It's almost like a reactionary thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's someone else's fault initially, but usually I then, using Counter-Strike as an example, I'll then just be there like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Or, you know, it's usually the realization kicks in then, and the realization that it was in fact all your fault. Oh, yeah. Listen, we've all done that, Zanzibar. We've all done that. I still do it. The fuck are you guys doing? Well, I'm sorry, mate. You just pushed on your own without saying anything. Yeah, but you should have known and been with me. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, no problem. It's my fault, yeah, cool. Jack's a spaniel. You ever played PUBG with Jack? He's a bloody spaniel. So what was Adrian Newey saying? Was Adrian Newey basically saying that he's retiring? If he's retiring, right, then he wouldn't need any gardening leave. If we start seeing him at a lot of races, he might end up saying to Red Bull, look, I'm retiring. I'm not going to another team. So I think it's fair to say he doesn't have a plan. That's not to say that the allure of going to one of these teams like Ferrari won't pique his interest, but it's obvious that he doesn't have a plan. He's not agreed anything. He's just gonna, play it by ear, I guess. What is that river that flows alongside? Or is it? Would it be an estuary? Wouldn't be a river, would it? It would be an. My knowledge here is lacking. That runs alongside the stadium. No, it's not an estuary, is it? What's that bloody water? Yeah, that seemed to be what the rumours were as well, Tilbo, that what had gone on at Red Bull had ultimately led him to leave. And that, from what you've said from his interview, that seems to be the case. Right. Qualifying has begun. Sprint qualifying, that is, SQ1. Unsurprisingly, Charles Leclerc has gone out straight away because he didn't have, any running, so he wants to just get some laps in. So only 12 minutes for SQ1. Oh, it's just called the Miami River. That's bloody boring, isn't it? Snake Creek. Huh. I hope there's dolphins in it. Yeah, a little canal boat. You might even be able to see. The track from there. You got a big enough riverboat. Is that what they're called? The riverboat, like like a the boats like on like the like Murder on the Nile. One of those old style boats. Are they called riverboats? Presumably because they only really go down quiet rivers. Charles Leclerc on his first lap here. He is on mediums. There is a car coming out of the pits, but that won't be too much of a problem. Charles Leclerc is going to be very... do you know what? If Charles Leclerc out-qualifies Sainz having done no practice, I'll be very impressed. He'll have a bit of data, and obviously he's driven around here, and he will have done sim... Oh, he's lost the rear. Yeah, he's bailed out of that lap straight away. Paddle steamer. I asked this earlier, but just because, there's a few more of you here now, what do you think of the Ferrari livery now you've seen it out on track? What do you make of it? I'm still not a fan. The RB logo, though. The RB livery, really like. It's different. What do you mean? Well, it's different to the standard livery, Daz, yeah. I mean, it's got bloody blue on it. If that's what you mean. It's not different from the one they showed off, though, which is terrible. No, it's not for me either. I wish, I just wish, I just wish. You know what I wish. We haven't really talked about Fernando Alonso signing a new contract as well. That's confirmed him to Aston Martin, which was interesting. Zhou Guanyu with a faster lap time than Valtteri Bottas. Just in case you're wondering as well, in sprint qualifying, SQ1 and SQ2 are both run on medium tyres, and then SQ3 will be on the softs. It used to be hard, medium, soft, but changed it for whatever. Alonso slower than Stroll. Lance Stroll, what a god. As we always say, Lance Stroll, best in F1. Best in F1. Carlos Sainz was slower than Zhou Guanyu. Are these used? I need to double check the tyres. They might be used mediums on Sainz. Yeah, it used to be hard, medium, soft, but now it's medium, medium, soft for whatever reason. We haven't really spoke much about Aston Martin, and they didn't really show much pace in FP1, but they have brought upgrades to Miami. Verstappen with purple middle sector. Charles Leclerc, 5th fastest. Verstappen will go quicker. Only less than a 10th quicker than Perez, though. Hamilton purple in Sector 1. That Mercedes has been the quickest car in Sector 1, weirdly. They lose a load of time in Sector 2, but they've been quick in Sector 1. Yeah, see, Hamilton's half a second down. He had a brilliant first sector. You might have made a mistake, though. It'd be interesting to see what Russell's is in Sector 2. Well, Russell lost 3.5 tenths as well. So yeah, they've got more wing on. So they've got a pretty good pace in the first sector, but then a terrible pace in Sector 2. Good lap time from Russell as well. Just quicker. Good lap from Piastri, though. He separated the two Red Bulls, which is really good. Yuki Tsunoda up to 4th as well. Bloody hell. Sainz is actually in the drop zone. Sainz needs to put in a lap. There's only 5 minutes left. Fernando. Oh, he did. Oh, Fernando Alonso gave the wall a little tickle. Not by much. Oh, Tilbo. I welcome it, Tilbo. I welcome the YouTube views. Oh, he gave it a good old smash, didn't he? Gave it a good old bloody smash. Oh, he's been blocked there. I'm not sure if that was Zhou Guanyu or Bottas, but Magnussen definitely. Definitely impeded. Ferrari have got their new sponsor on the car, right? Their new partner, HP. But interestingly, the team is meant to now be called Scuderia Ferrari HP. But the name hasn't actually changed yet, supposedly. So they're still known as Scuderia Ferrari, but they are meant to be called Scuderia Ferrari HP. Carlos Sainz goes 4th fastest out of the drop zone. Daniel Ricciardo's back in the pits. He needs a lap because his teammate's up in 5th place, but Danny Rick's currently down in 16th. Charles Leclerc is currently in 11th, but this lap will move him further forward. Good exit, short shifted. Yeah, it goes P3 with that lap. That's a decent lap. Really good lap. Less than a 10th separates the top 5. Less than a 10th of a second is currently separating the top 5. Oof. Yeah. I really, really like Daniel Ricciardo, but he didn't perform at McLaren and was moved on. And he's been struggling at RB as well, hasn't he? Let's be honest. So at some point, you have to say, well, you know. I just think he just hasn't been doing good enough, and I wish that wasn't the case, but yeah, see, Raging Current's got a system, and it's a smart one. Oh, it's another. Oh God. They actually did make contact. Jesus Christ. Bottas. What was Bottas doing? His engineer hasn't told him. His engineer hasn't told him because he's on the radio saying, "What you like? I had no idea." It's literally the engineer's job to tell him this stuff. I mean, that's a Stonewall penalty. I don't know which one it was that blocked Magnussen into the chicane. If it's Zhou Guanyu, then they're both getting penalties. If not, then Bottas is getting a double penalty. I really like that RB livery out on circuit, you know. I think it looks nice. I think it looks nice.
We're not ready for sure. Understood. That's not a penalty, then I don't know what is. Copy.
Oh, Daniel Ricciardo's got a penalty for the race, isn't he? I forgot about that. It was for overtaking under the safety car. It was a bit of a harsh penalty, but yeah. So for the main Grand Prix on Sunday, he's got a. Is it a 3-place grid penalty? I forget. It won't affect him for the sprint, but yeah, he's got a penalty for the race. It's a bit harsh, really, to be honest. I think.
That's too late, man. I have no idea.
Norris with a very good time then at 27.9. Max Verstappen was 0.3 off that. Or is 0.3 off currently. Everyone needs a pretty good lap here. Daniel Ricciardo takes himself out of the bottom, but will that be enough? He's currently in P9. Hamilton only goes P10. Hulkenberg P14. Hamilton will be fine where he is there, but even still, not a great lap. Charles Leclerc improves on his lap time in 5th. Russell goes P4. Much better lap from Russell compared to Hamilton. Oh, Albon's out. Logan Sargent, guys, is last. Yeah. Lance Stroll is in 12th, so he goes through. Alonso goes P2. Hello. What about Gasly? Gasly's the only one now that can... Guys, it's a McLaren 1-2 at the minute. Is Gasly out? Yeah, Gasly's pitted. Gasly's out. Gasly's not having a good season, you know. I know that Alpine is not good, okay? But Ocon is outperforming Gasly quite handedly. Sargent, he's just not good enough, is he? Sargent's just not good enough. McLaren 1-2. Hello. Maybe. Logan Sargent. It's saying Albon is behind him, but that's not true. Oh wait, did Albon get a lap time deleted? I think Albon's had a lap time deleted, guys. Because it's now saying that Sargent is ahead of Albon. Sargent's going to out-qualify Albon. Albon's gone to the bottom. He must have had a lap time deleted for something. Yeah. $129,112. So, Logan Sargent was 4/10 slower than Albon's time. Albon did have his lap time deleted eventually, but again, we're seeing this pattern, these 4/10, 5/10, 4/10. Logan's a competent driver. He's just not good enough. That's just the reality. He's had quite a few seasons now. You know, respectively, as Formula One goes, he's a good driver. As racing drivers go, he's a good driver. He's just not Formula One good. That's just the way it is. If he went to endurance racing, IMSA, IndyCar, he might have a successful time. He's just not F1 level, is he? Let's be honest. Is what it is. Is what it is. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give it a like. It's free. And, you know, I'll appreciate it, so thank you. Yeah, really good by Piastri, because just so we're clear, it is written there, but Norris has all of the McLaren upgrades for this weekend. Piastri only has about half of them. So Piastri doesn't have the fully upgraded car yet. So that's decent work by Piastri. It's decent. Magnussen, yeah, banging lap from Magnussen. Hulkenberg only just scraped through, but Magnussen was up there in 5th. I don't know what happened to Hamilton, but he had a scruffy second lap. Russell's lap was really good with a 28.3. Danny Rick did pull a lap out in the end, so he managed to get scraped through. Barely, he was like 2,000s off Tsunoda's time. So if he can stick with Tsunoda's times, then that'll be pretty decent. Lance Stroll down in P13, though, while Alonso, his teammates, up in 3rd, isn't exactly ideal, is it? But, yeah. Just Lance Stroll things.
Is the Alpine pushing or what?
Stay.
Dude, you tell me next time if somebody's pushing.
Yeah, jag copy. Sorry.
Yeah, Bottas is getting a penalty. I mean, that is a slam dunk penalty, isn't it? If I've ever seen a slam dunk penalty, that's it. Just watching the... Yeah, Gasly's not been having a good season so far. How many HP logos do we need on that Ferrari? There's 2 on the wheel covers. There's 1 on the halo. There's 2 on the front wing. There's 1 on the engine cover. And there's 2 on the rear wing that I know of. Sorry, how many logos do we need? Logos everywhere. What the hell? I need to just go get a water. 2 seconds. Right. I'm back. Apologies. So, the big question for me after SQ1 is that pace from McLaren, is it representative? That's what I want to know. Compared to the Red Bulls. Probably not, but, you know, we could hope, can't we? Just watching this lap from Perez's nose. Yeah, I think second row. Ultimately, I think second row. Perez goes P1, unsurprisingly, with a 27.8. It's a lot quicker than Lance Stroll. Lot quicker than Lance Stroll. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, do you know what? I didn't actually change the thing, did I? I just carried on as normal. I will just change it temporarily, but I can't be asked changing the title. Good evening, Obican. Danny Ricciardo just put in a banging lap, by the way. Charles Leclerc goes second with a 27.9, but Daniel Ricciardo in third. Oof. Hamilton only 7th, guys. Yikes. Sainz P5. Half a second off Perez's time. Russell only goes just ahead of him, but he was ahead of him by 100ths of a second. Piastri goes 4th. The Merc is really, really fast in the first sector, but Norris 0.3 quicker than Perez, but Verstappen hasn't gone out yet. Everyone's out but Tsunoda and Verstappen, which is curious. I don't... See, that's not true, though, Daz. If you actually... I don't mean this in a negative way. If you actually watched last season, Hamilton outperformed Russell last season. And his race pace was miles better than George. And I think people have seen the struggle that Lewis had in the first year and this start of the season, and they say, oh, George is making him look bad. But if you actually have watched all the races... Lewis was much better than George last year. In consistency, in race pace, it wasn't even that close in the races. And so it's not really the whole story. But I agree, he certainly hasn't got on with this Merc. I don't think that's up for debate at all. I think that's definitely true. I think so far this season, George has managed it a little bit better. But currently, both Mercedes are at risk. And I say for why? Because Hamilton's in the drop zone, but Verstappen hasn't set a lap yet, which means Russell is also potentially in the drop zone. Even behind a Haas and an RB. The problem for Mercedes, they are super quick in Sector 1 because they've put a really big rear wing on. They've put a much bigger rear wing than everyone else. That is because they're lacking downforce. Because of that, they're slow in Sector 2. So they're gaining in Sector 1, but they're losing in Sector 2. So, yeah. I think both Mercedes could end up out of qualifying here. There is a good chance that both of them could end up out. Unless one of them puts in a really good lap. More than likely Russell, based on what we're seeing so far. Nah, that's not true, Juice. saying he's not going to give everything because he's going to Ferrari, I just don't think's true. I mean, you know, he still wants to win. And when I say win, I mean, he's obviously not going to win races in this car, but he's still very competitive. Max only has one run here. He only has one run, so he's got to get it right. If he locks up or anything, then he's going to be starting 14th. Nah, honestly, I just think he doesn't give interviewers very much anymore, I don't think. Verstappen is currently 1.5 tenths down on Norris's time through Sector 1. It's a tidy lap from Max. It isn't, you know, it isn't quite as quick as Norris through Sector 1. We're going to see now through Sector 2. Through the chicane. He's half a second down. What the hell? Yeah, it's not a particularly fast lap, is it? I mean, it'll get him through, obviously, but it's not quick. Goes fourth, 4 tenths. Yeah, it's still absolutely fine in terms of the outright pace, but... Oh, not good from Ocon through the chicane there. Hamilton's got a pit lane infringement being noted. Yeah, basically 4 tenths off the first place for Max is like, well, it's a disaster, isn't it, by his standards? Ocon ends up 13th. Hamilton's had a poor first sector as well. Poor first sector from Hamilton. He's 2.5 tenths off a time he needs to get out of qualifying. So he's not going through. Russell has put a green first sector in, though, so... But he's just about matching Hulkenberg's time, so it could be either way. Hamilton said he hit the wall. Yeah, Hamilton's out. Oof, that Mercedes. George maybe will get through? No, he doesn't! Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay, so cars still finishing laps. We've got 4 cars in front, less than half a tenth up the road.
I mean, I said that they both might be out. 11th and 12th, behind a Haas
A little bit more
and an RB. Also, Daniel Ricciardo up in 5th. Yuki Tsunoda down in 15th. So we were just talking about Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, Russell and Hamilton, 3 100ths or something between each other. They would just both had no pace. They just both had no pace. So. There's still a qualifying session for the race, you know, for tomorrow, but it doesn't look like they're going to have a good time, Mercedes, to be honest. Fuck you know. This is an upgraded car, by the way, guys. New floor on this car. It's just not good enough, is it? For them, like, it's just, I mean, like, the car just isn't good enough. Nowhere near good enough. What can they do? Well, other than obviously improve it, you know? You know, just make it better. I mean, I don't know if you know, but this is what they've got to do. Just make it faster. And that's really all they have to do. But, I mean, they haven't done that. Their race pace will not be phenomenal. I mean, I can tell you that now. And the reason I can tell you that is because I think, you know, I just think they're bad. You know, just bad, aren't they? Well, they just haven't got on top of it. They haven't got on top of these regulations at all. This is the third year, and they messed it up in the first year. They tried to keep it the same in the second year. They've changed their entire concept this year, and they're still just nowhere near as good. And let's just be clear here: it's not like then in the first year of these regulations, and even last year, at the beginning of last year, they managed to sneak second in the constructors because everyone else was performing badly. Ferrari were performing badly, and McLaren. Then halfway through the season, McLaren brought that upgrade, and then McLaren were way quicker than Mercedes. And that's followed through to this year. Mercedes now are sometimes struggling to stay in the top 10 because not only are they behind Ferrari and McLaren now on pace, you've got other cars like Aston Martin, even Haas, who, if they put in a good lap, they can bump them down as well. So, I mean, listen, it's one thing going out of qualifying, even though it's sprint qualifying. It's another thing getting knocked out by a fucking AlphaTauri and a Haas car. Like, that's just embarrassing. And I say it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for a team like Mercedes. You know, that RB car's a decent car, and we know that the Haas has got some outright pace. But ultimately, it's embarrassing for a team like Mercedes. So apparently the pit lane infringement for Hamilton was his pit crew not wearing their helmets. So that'll be a fine anyway. No, it's not safe. They have to wear their helmet. For whatever reason, they weren't. I'm not quite sure why. God, that Mercedes is just terrible. The other thing to consider is temperature. I will say that. Oh, he looks very fucking dejected, does Lewis? Jesus. I will say that Mercedes do not perform well in hotter temperatures. And earlier on, it was 52 degrees track temp. So it is hot there. And they, for whatever reason, their car doesn't seem to work well in hot temperatures. So maybe it will be, you know, it does tend to work better in cooler temps. But yeah, Albon made a mistake and Logan Sargent is shit, Obicon. And that's essentially what happened to Williams. I think that's exactly right, Wolves. They didn't actually change the tyres. He came in, did a wing adjustment, and went straight back out on the same set of tyres. So even still, they're meant to wear helmets. It'll be a fine, nothing more than that. But I think you're absolutely right. That's why they didn't have their helmets on. Even though, to be honest, during qualifying like that, they should all have their helmets on in the garage, surely, just in case they're called to do something, surely. Do you know what I mean? But anyway. Right. Lando Norris has a real chance to get P1 in this sprint qualifying. He's had the pace. And I'll be honest, Max Verstappen hasn't, so far, been able to match the pace of that McLaren. So, is there a chance? I mean, ultimately, we might still say that, you know, Norris will Max will win the race come tomorrow anyway, but is there a chance? Well, there's always a chance, isn't there? Is it 5:30, the sprint tomorrow? Let me just double check. It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock for the sprint tomorrow, and then 9 o'clock for qualifying. Okay. Okay. Well, it still won't count as an official win, though, I don't think. But, I mean, I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just let's squib over. I don't know why. Top and death was just sliding out like hell.
Understood.
Oh, we're just looking at someone having a lovely time on a jet ski. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, this is their updated floor as well. This was the upgrade that was meant to be coming to Imola, and they've brought it forward. But they've also said, Andrew Shovlin has said that they're behind on their upgrade schedule. McLaren brought a whole improved side pod, rear profile, new front wing. Like, when you look at the side by side of the side pods and the side pod intake, the rear of the car, that McLaren is very, very different. And so they've brought a huge upgrade. Mercedes haven't brought a huge upgrade, but it was meant to be their upgrade from Imola that they've brought. And, well, it's not good enough, is it? It's not good enough. I mean, at this rate, for the race, they'll be lucky to stay in the top 10. It's such a bad look for them because their customer teams are doing a better job. McLaren buy their engines and they're outperforming them, and they're not a works team. That is just, yeah, we'll take your engines and we'll do a better job than you. It's just, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Crone, thank you for the 19 months.
Apparently you were doing
I
something
appreciate
right,
it.
Captain.
So, SQ3. Pretty much just going to be it's pretty much going to be a one-lap shootout. Everyone's going out now. The two Red Bulls are already out on track. The two Ferraris are really taking their time. I mean, come on. The Ferraris just stopped in the pit lane. I thought they'd banned them from doing that. I thought they'd stop them from doing that, just stopping essentially in the pit lane. I hate that. So Max is actually going to end up doing his lap first. Like, of the main runners, Max is going to end up doing his lap first. This is going to be exciting. Piastri's only just coming out of the pits, so he's going to be the last to cross the line. Obi. Rotation something I'm really working on, Obi. And I've worked out a problem that I had that might have been leading to another problem, so I'm trying to work on that. I talk such a good game with practicing golf, but I've not actually been in 6 months, so I mean... I'm just really bad. I'm just really struggling to be any level of consistent. Anyway. Max Verstappen, across the line. Is Max going to catch... Max might catch some cars at the end of his lap, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Everyone's going to get one lap and that's it. This is literally a one-lap shootout. God, that camera's shaking about, isn't it? He was so late on the brake. It looked like that car would never have stopped in that time. But it did. Oh, so good. Oh, I was about to say that he was so good through the chicane, but he had some rear oversteer as he went over the second curb. So you would have definitely lost a little bit of time there as Hulkenberg goes across. Perez did a 27.8. Max would have definitely lost time in the chicane. (27.6), 0.2 of a lap quicker than Perez. Oh, Norris has he's butchered it. Oh, Norris has fucked it. No. Charles Leclerc 1/10 down. What is going on? Both the Ferraris about a 10th off. I don't know if Charles Leclerc goes P2. I don't know if there's a problem with his lap or if he made a mistake or there's just a problem with... Sainz goes 5th. Charles Leclerc out-qualifies Sainz by 0.4, having only done one lap. Piastri goes 7th. Piastri's ahead of Norris, and Norris has the upgraded car. I don't understand what's happened to McLaren. They put the soft on and nothing. And Danny Rick's up in 4th. Danny Rick's ahead of both McLarens, both Aston Martins, and a Ferrari. Oof. What has happened on those soft tyres for McLaren? What the hell has just happened? Max just lolled over the radio. I mean, I'm absolutely done. He was told he had P1 and he went, lol. What happened to everyone? That was terrible. That's what he said. That's what he said. He literally said, lol. What happened to everyone? That lap was terrible. We're laying him off the hook. Like Max, when he makes a mistake and doesn't have a good performance, the people that can actually do something about it aren't doing it. For all intents and purposes there, that should have been McLaren. They've had the pace all qualifying over the Red Bull. And then when it counts, they just weren't able to get that pace on the soft tyre.
Good. We all need a break at the end of the straight. For info, Hulkenberg's unused as well.
There you go. Right. Time for some more CS, I think. If you're watching on the tubes, then thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the sprint race, which sadly now isn't quite as exciting as I was hoping it was going to be. Maybe the McLarens can work their way through the field on some medium or hard tyres. We'll see. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, I'm actually devastated. I thought we were going to see Lando there get P1. I really, really did.